Hey, this is Anna Bevan Gravely with NCFREE, and I'm joined by Tamara Barringer, who's running for North Carolina Supreme Court. Thanks so much for joining us. Is there anything you'd like to share with our members before we get started?
No, it's just an absolute pleasure to be with you here today.
Awesome. So we'll just go straight into the questions. What is your current or recent U.S. Supreme Court justice that you think reflects your judicial philosophy the best?
I had the opportunity a few years ago to actually go see two cases at the United States Supreme Court. The dental whitening case that North Carolina was involved with, our dentist, and then another one that had to do with Western water rights. And I got to see Justice Antonin Scalia in action. He was absolutely more than I had ever expected. His judicial philosophy is strong. He's very to the point and very brief. And he truly, his philosophy really reflects the way I see things. He applies the law as it's written. He allows states to make their own laws within the Constitution. And he was just a really straightforward guy. One of the things that was so remarkable in watching him in action was I could not tell as a spectator in the gallery which way he would rule on the case, because he was just as tough, but just as fair to both litigants. And so it was just very, very exciting to see someone of that caliber to serve our country the way he did.
Awesome. And just to give you a chance to expand, what would you say your judicial philosophy is?
Well, mine is really quite simple. I am a common sense conservative constitutionalist. I will approach our cases before us in a common sense manner. I believe that the Constitution and our statutes are to be interpreted literally, and I will do so with all the zeal and vigor that I can.
Yeah. What would you say the top 3 principles or 5 principles of free enterprise are?
Opportunity. I come from a very modest background. My first home did not have indoor plumbing. When I was almost 2 years old, my daddy was a farmer. When I was almost 2 years old, we lost our entire tobacco crop in an uninsured barn fire. And because of the free enterprise system, because of the opportunities that were there for my father and my mother, he was able, and my mother was able to rebuild our family. They were committed to family. They loved us. I have 3 sisters. We moved off the farm into a single wide trailer. And we lived on the edge of poverty until about the time I went to school. And without our free enterprise system, without a strong economy, I would not be sitting here today as a former state senator, as a professor in one of the best business schools in the country. Frankly, I probably wouldn't have had the opportunity to go to college. And so I truly, truly treasure our economy, our economic engine, the free enterprise system that allows people to take risk and to build businesses and provide jobs for people and families in our country.
Yeah, wow. What kind of jobs, interests, or volunteer work did you do in college and in law school?
Very interesting. I put myself through school. And so, although my family helped all they could, as I said, my big gift, while I mentioned we lived on the edge of poverty, I never felt poor. I wasn't poor. I had a wonderful mother and father and sisters, and we all worked together, but we all put ourselves through college. I'm first generation college, and my 3 sisters came behind me doing the same thing. So I did all kinds of interesting jobs. I think my favorite, I'm a lifelong Girl Scout. I've been a Girl Scout for 50 years. Exactly. But I got to work in a Girl Scout camp on 2 different summers, once as a lifeguard and swim teacher, and later as the aquatics director. But I also sang in weddings and I sang in funerals. My uncle owned a restaurant, and so I did everything from wash dishes to, well, my cousin plays the guitar well and sings, and so we would do little floor shows when there were breaks in what we were doing. I was a wait staff server, and One summer, I actually worked swing shift in a mill driving a forklift on a dock. So I've had a myriad
Wow.
of wonderful experiences that allowed me not only to pay for my college, but to also become the person that I am. I appreciate hard work. I think if you ask my colleagues from the Senate or from the university, no one works harder than I do. And I learned that work ethic really, really early by watching my parents. And then, of course, having the opportunity, again, the opportunity to work while I was in school and actually help put myself through school.
Yeah, wow. What has been your greatest accomplishment in your legal career and in your personal life?
I'm very fortunate on lots of levels, and so I feel a little braggadocio in even talking about some of those. But really, the biggest accomplishment in my life was actually making it through college and getting to be a lawyer, having that opportunity to do that. My husband and I practiced law together for about 20 years. And I actually managed the law firm in addition to practicing law. I'm a tax and corporate business lawyer. And that was the nature of our practice. And so to have that opportunity to help people, small businesses, to be able to provide for their families and to provide jobs, that was really important to me. However, having said that, my greatest accomplishment is what I was able to do in the North Carolina General Assembly for foster children and children in crisis. My husband and I were therapeutic foster parents for the Methodist Home for Children for 10 years. And we experienced through the children that were in our homes things that I had no idea happened to children, especially not in this country, but really anywhere. Severe neglect, horrible abuse, by the people who are supposed to love and care for them, who just either weren't able to or weren't willing to do so. And so that's what inspired me to go to the General Assembly, to run for the office, and to be able to serve for over 6 years. And while I was there, I drafted and sponsored, as the primary sponsor, 32 bills that all became law. Most of them passed both in the House and the Senate unanimously. Now think about that. You don't read about that in the newspaper. Although I will say that there were several times that some of the news outlets did talk about some of the wonderful things we were doing with foster care and children in crisis and the disabled. But if I had to select one bill that really made a difference for me and for others, and I'm very proud of, it was extending foster care to the age of 21. Before I went to the General Assembly, no one really knew about this of my colleagues, and most people did not know that at age 18, we turned children out, turned them out to live under bridges, to couch surf. Sometimes they were with families who would just out of the goodness of their heart allow them to stay. But at 18, they were kicked out. Well, now that's not the case. The children are able to, or the youth are able to stay in foster care, stay with their families, go to college, go to community college, or even workforce development programs to be able to better themselves. And so I think of all the things that I've been involved with, that one I'm most proud of.
Yeah. What about your personal life?
I'm coming up on 38 years of being married to my husband, Brent. We met in undergraduate school the first week. We have 3 children, all adopted from the foster care system. And I share that now because they share it. It's their path, it's their story, but in different ways, they've all made that part of their reason to share. And so having been a foster mom was very difficult. We became a foster family as our family grew, but it allowed Brent and me to be parents and to have a wonderful, wonderful life. We're supposed to be empty nesters But under today's situation, we have two of them that have come back, although Emily's getting ready to go back to App State for her sophomore year. Our son, John Charles, is a rising senior at Arizona State, and for those reasons, he's probably going to stay here this semester and take his courses remotely. We're glad to have him back.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a lot of parents are experiencing a very similar situation with having kids come back or take remote classes. So it's, I'm sure it's a mixed bag of good and bad. I thought we weren't going to do this anymore kind of thing. Yeah. So what would you say your vision for the future of the judiciary system is?
It relates very much to business and to families and to people. We need situations where we need predictability. We need to know what to count on. Our laws need to be straightforward. And so we have a system for that. It's called a balance of powers and the legislature. One of the things I know from my experience in the legislature is that that every 2 years, the people of North Carolina elect their representatives and senators to make laws for them. And those laws should be respected, should be applied as written. And there are lots of reasons for that. One of them is it's the right thing to do because those people who made the laws, 50 senators and 120 representatives, those folks were elected by the people of North Carolina to do that. But there's a practical reason for that too. Especially businesses need to know how to plan and to be able to move forward. And if you don't have certainty, if you don't have stability, if you don't know what you can count on, it's catastrophic for families, for people, and particularly businesses in our economy.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for spending time with me this morning and sharing your vision and your background with the NCFREE membership. Before we end our time together, where can our members go to learn more about you?
Well, and before we do that, I would like to share one other experience I had at the General Assembly. As I mentioned, I have background in taxation and business. And so in my first term in 2012 and 13, I was asked to be part of the special task force that actually drafted the 2013 tax reform. And you may recall, Anna, that at that time, the Tax Institute had ranked North Carolina 47th in business tax climate, which meant businesses had stopped expanding here. Businesses didn't want to come here. And I was the only elected official who was actually a tax attorney. And so I had the opportunity to draft a great deal of that and to also help negotiate that work. And now, well, within about 2 or 3 years, the state catapulted to, I think we were maybe 13th, 12th, 13th or 14th. And I've been keeping up with it. We're knocking on the door of the top 10 for tax climate for businesses. And it's really important because people need to have, and businesses need to have the money to make jobs, create jobs, to invest in equipment, to hire people. And it should be up to the individual to how to spend their money within that realm. And so I wanted to make sure I shared that because that's very important for business as well. And pivoting that or applying that to the court now, our economy is in shambles. It's shattered. And we need judges that have tax and business experience, not just having taught that. I've been on the faculty at the Keenan Flagler Business School in Chapel Hill for 15 years. Before that, I was teaching business law at NC State, and then I created the first corporate paralegal program for Meredith College. We're going to need that kind of expertise as these businesses get back on their feet and begin operating. And so that's one of the big reasons I am aspiring to the court, because I want to bring that same skill set that I brought to the legislature. I want to bring that same skill set to our judiciary as our businesses begin to flourish again.
Awesome. Thank you. And so where can we go to find more about you? TamaraBarringer.com. I have a website. I'm also on Facebook at Facebook/Tamara Barringer.
and then also on Twitter at Tamara Barringer. And so it's pretty easy. Tamara Barringer will get you to about anywhere, and I'll be happy to. I hope they'll follow me and like me and do all those kinds of things that are there. And we do try to keep folks updated about my philosophy, and also what appearances I might be making. Most of them these days are on Zoom forums, but I do want to get to know folks even better. So I will be happy to hear from all of your viewers.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, and have a great rest of the day, and good luck on the campaign trail.
Thank you, Anna.